Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Philip, and this is the Reindeer Dress Bit. Today is a Lost Lantern Saturday, and we have something truly special today. So, when you see a gold label from Lost Lantern, you know that it is something truly special. Now, nothing that Lost Lantern has put out has disappointed me, or, I found it not to be fantastic whiskey. But this stuff is extra special. So, this is, of course, the fall 2025 single cask number 19. This is part of their Scotch Lovers collection, and single cask 19 is a release from 888 Distillery, which many of you may not have heard of, but it is really well known amongst the circles of people who are very into American single malt whiskey, and they have a reputation for being fantastic whiskeys at relatively high age statements for malt whiskey, and especially for American single malt whiskey. This is an 11-year-old, for example. What's fascinating is they don't release single casks, and they don't release at cask strength. So not only is this a double-digit age statement American single malt, aged for its entire life in Sauternes cask, that's 11 years in a Sauternes cask. It is released at cask strength, which is 60.5% alcohol by volume or 121 proof. Now, I need to issue a correction from last week's video. For some reason, filming at midnight, really rough week. I misspoke and said Cape Cod. They are on Nantucket, which is also an island. Um, you can see on the label where in Massachusetts they are, and it kind of looks like they're not in Massachusetts at all, but they are. Now, I'm faced with a slight quandary here because Lost Lantern did send me a sample of this absolutely gorgeous 888. But what I'm going to pour for myself tonight comes from my full-sized bottle, which I paid for myself. So the quandary is, do I put that these samples are provided by Lost Lantern for the purposes of discussion and review, or do I not? Because I'm pouring from a bottle that I paid for myself. And I think that in order to cover all of my bases, make sure that I've not done anything wrong or to offend anyone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the banner up. And this part of the video will just serve as a, yes, Lost Lantern sent me samples, but I put my money where my faith lay, and I purchased a full bottle before I had a chance to try this, mind you. So, and it is beautiful stuff. I mean, to start with, the color. Like in the bottle, you can tell this is a really rich, dark color. Almost surprising because Sauternes is a fairly pale wine. And, when you're looking at aging in an X wine cask, you aren't going to get some of the like really dark colors that you get from first extraction, new charred oak barrel. But you are going to get plenty of color. And the result, I think, speaks for itself. I mean, look at that in the glass. Look at the color it's shining on my nose, for example. Beautiful stuff. Oh, it is rich, buttery, a hint of that like salt sea breeze. Oh, grape skin, fresh cut vegetation. That nice floral note that was also in the 10-year ex bourbon barrel. Ah, it's wonderful, beautiful stuff. It's got this beautiful, dense nose. It really just pulls you in. It makes you think. It helps if you don't inhale a mustache hair. I can feel it in the back of my throat. Oh. Note to self: don't inhale mustache hairs, which is, I think, a first for me. Oh, but it's got that lovely, like, it's got layers. Like an onion or an ogre, it's got layers. It's got this nice outer layer that's all that, like, salt sea breeze, and then a layer of nice floral, like, heathery notes, and then a layer that's all that, like, raisin skin, soft, gentle sweetness, caramelized sugars, maybe a little bit of molasses. And then right in its core, it's got this, I wouldn't say chewy, because it's not really a chewy scent, because scents can't be chewy, but like shortbread cracker almost. Sort of a nice buttery crisp core of that nose. And I've got to spend more time with this. Oh, it's beautiful. Mm. Beautiful. On the palate, right up top, you've got that nice, rich, bright burst of fruit, honey, heather, little trailings of that sea spray, that buttery, rich core. Now this is a dessert dram. Beautifully sweet, counterbalanced by that little bit of salt, that nice, rich, buttery core. Mm. And the finish is really nice too. It's a long, a little bit of that, like, nuttiness that I got a little hair of on the 10-year-old, followed by, like, honeyed fruit. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I just want to sit here and drink this. This would be wonderful sat by a fire. You just sat by a fire. This, some Walker shortbread or homemade shortbread. That'd really hit the spot. Nice fire to toast your toes. And this to warm your soul. Mm. Oh, yeah. Maybe a little bit of figginess on the finish. Again, it's lingering. Just a little bit of, like, tree nut figginess, honeyed fruit. Genuinely gorgeous, beautiful stuff. I'm going to put this down while I ask and answer my 3 questions. Do I like this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love this stuff. This is fantastic. This is a shining example of what American single malt is capable of. This is like a coastal Highland dram. I want to say a little bit like Old Pulteney, maybe an island dram like Highland Park. It doesn't have that like pop of peat that you'd pop of peat or pepperiness that you'd expect from Talisker. But if you like Highland Park, if you like Old Pulteney, if you like the coastal Highland distilleries or coastal space, well, there aren't really any coastal space sides, but you know what I mean. Coastal distillery in Scotland. This is something that you should absolutely, this is something that you should absolutely give a try if you're looking to branch out a little bit and try something a little bit different, new. I really love this stuff. I am so glad I spent the money on that. Question two. Do I think it's a good value? Yes. I know what you're going to say. $150 is a lot of money for a single bottle of whiskey. I will remind you that this costs less than, for example, Johnny Walker Blue Label. Blows the bloody doors off of it. No competition. It's across the finish line before Johnny Walker's even gotten his engine started. And if you have ever wanted to try the Notch, which is Triple Eight's single malt, that starts at like, I believe, $50 more than this. It's worth the money. It is fantastic stuff. I absolutely do not regret spending my money on that. As tight as my budget is currently, that was worth every single penny, which is especially important now that these things are so hard to come by now. Anyway, third question, third question. Do I recommend it? Absolutely, 100%. Like I said, if you like Highland Park, if you like Old Pulteney, if you like coastal distilleries in the Highlands of Scotland, this is a good shout. This is like any of those cranked. You've got all that flavor packed in that dram, and it's 11 years old. It's cask strength. Again, 60.5% alcohol by volume, 121 proof. You're not going to see that kind of powerful proof in your average Scotch whiskey release. And that draws that to an end. Next stuff that I've got to talk about, a little bit of self-promotion. If you want to keep seeing these videos, if you enjoy this show, if you like what I'm doing, you want to see more, and you'd like to support this channel, of course, the usual avenues for support are always there. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends who may be interested. If you would like to give me maybe a little bit more monetary support to ensure that this show continues, and to support my endeavors with the Single Malt Frontier with my co-host Doug, in the description down below you will find a link to purchase these French oak ballpoint twist pens. They're $25 a piece. They're made from a French oak cognac cask that held the cognac for like 30 years and then was used to finish a peated American single malt whiskey in the Pacific Northwest. I can't tell you where these staves came from, because the dear friend who sent me these staves, to whom I am forever in debt, couldn't get her marketing team to give the okay for me to put the name of the distillery on the listing. But if you know, you know. And I'm sure that some of you know. Anyway, I'll stop wasting your time. It has been fantastic talking to you. I really appreciate you guys hanging around until the end. Until next time, stay happy, stay geeks. Slancha. Oh, such beautiful stuff.